run it back. Lost everything I ever wanted it back. Got a problem, never run from that. Have fun with that.
It's week 7 of the NFL, and this one features the Saints' sure-handed wide receiver. And with him, any catch could be a big one. He's the NFL leader in touchdown receptions. It's the Saints and the Jaguars on Thursday night.
We are down on the bayou as you get a look inside the Caesars Superdome here in New Orleans. Tonight we kick off week 7 with a great Thursday night matchup here, as it'll be the Jacksonville Jaguars taking on the New Orleans Saints.
Along with Charles Davis, I'm Brandon Gaudin. And Charles, you look at this Saints team as they enter play. They've got all W's on the ledger so far, a perfect 6-0.
Yeah, still a long way to go in this season, but they're showing everyone early on that they intend.
The Saints offense about ready to get going. They are 6-0 here to start the year. And the one we'll be watching is this man at wideout. He'll have a hard time repeating those numbers. Over 200 yards receiving a week ago.
But I think he's excited about the opportunity because he knows they're going to gear all the coverages to him. But he has an ability to find a way to get open. And you can't even totally describe it. You just watch it happen week in and week out. I can't wait to see how he goes about it in this game.
If he goes back-to-back over 200, oh boy, look out.
The numbers there for Kamara from a week ago. He was creeping up toward 200 yards, thought he was going to get there, didn't quite make it, but also 2 rushing touchdowns.
And even if he only got about half those numbers this week, his team would take it in a heartbeat, wouldn't they? Because last week, he was spectacular.
So from the 37, here's 2nd down and 1.
Now Carr. Firing quickly, but it's incomplete.
Well, Charles, something we talked about last week, when you start believing whether you're in the midst of a special season or not. Well, now they're at 6-0. Are you still trying to tamp down the expectations in that locker room?
Well, to me, it's less about tamping down expectations and much more about not getting ahead of yourself as a team. And look, they've got to play each game individually, right? Many teams talk about being 1-0 at the end of each and every game each week. To me, you got to understand you cannot win the Super Bowl in October.
From the gun, it's Carr. And he rifles one incomplete.
The Saints at 6-0. What a start to the season for them. And they have certainly got it rolling as of late. Winners of 6 in a row.
And I think this is where, as a head coach, you show your team some trust. Instead of just talking about winning, the very next game, you point out to them, we're on a nice run here. And if we keep doing this, we'll be playing at home in the postseason. And we know that could ride us all the way to the Super Bowl if we get that done.
The throw over the middle, taken in. The Saints first down there on a gain of 11.
And this is a game where you don't envy a defensive coordinator. This is what you have to game plan against all week. This offense is number 1 in the NFL in passing, and they're clicking here early as they get a completion there for a first.
Look at this, middle of the field, a breakaway.
They'll get it inside the 20,
and he's got it all the way down to the 12-yard line. A big pickup of 38. That's evidence of why you spend a high draft pick on a receiver, isn't it, Charles?
It certainly is. His ability to make plays like that, and we've seen flashes of it from him so far in his rookie season. But also, it opens things up for the rest of the offense because they have to bring their attention to him as well.
So how about this for field position after the big play? Inside the 15 now as they come up on 1st and 10. Carr to throw again. Over the middle, it's complete.
And the Saints are looking at 1st and goal as he's tackled all the way down at the 2-yard line.
Charles, Thursday night game, I think a lot of teams probably say shrink the playbook somewhat. Is that correct?
I think you're right about that because you just don't have the amount of time that you have in a normal week to put in a full playbook. So, as you said, you shrink the playbook, pick out the plays that work best for you.
Looking for Thomas. He's got it. Touchdown, New Orleans. A great play there. second touchdown on the season.
And the Saints put the Knights' first points on the board as they take the early lead.
An ideal start. New Orleans Saints, they get ready to set up shop for their second drive.
As mentioned, this one of the hottest teams in the NFL, riding that winning streak into this one, but now playing here on Thursday night. Do you think that this helps or hurts their momentum?
Well, ordinarily, I'd say it hurts the momentum because now you get that short week. But when a team's playing as well as they are, it actually allows them to down focus and only worry about themselves and less about their opponent. So when you're playing well, you just worry about the things you're doing well and let the opponent deal with that.
Carr to throw on second down. Looking middle, and that's complete. His fifth catch tonight, and it's good for a first down. After one, 7-3 the score on EA Sports. Ready for the second quarter from New Orleans. It's the Saints in possession. Back-to-back good plays have them on the move on first down. Working from the gun, it's Carr. And a quick throw here, that's complete. And that's good for a pickup of 10 yards. And that'll leave him with a second and just a few inches left.
It's a nice completion, a little bit of run after catch as well to create the yardage that they got. But it is so tough to cover that route, the drag route, because they run it at varying speeds. Because the key is to create hesitancy on the defender's part.
Always so empathetic for those DBs, aren't you? That'll put him at 95 receiving yards now as he's got a first down. Again, it's Carr. He completes it to Olave. And he'll be out of bounds about a half to a full yard shy of the 5. 33 yards that time.
I don't care what level of football you play. This one was a universal, wasn't it? When we were kids and we played touch football, remember we get in these positions and you just say, everybody go along and hope someone would come.
Touchdown! From 6 yards away, as his guys are able to extend their lead. He was on point throwing the ball right there. He had the big play to get him down close, and then he delivers a touchdown pass on first and goal.
And you mentioned the big play that got him down close. I think that big play left him reeling a little bit. They didn't recover from it. And you know, they always talk about having to have a short memory on defense after a big play against you. Looks like their memory was a little too long there.
So here are the Saints to take over. Their win streak at 6 coming in and counting as they've got the lead right now beginning this drive 1st and 10. Now Carr. And that is caught downfield by Thomas. It's a gain of 35.
Well, Paul, I'm not sure how this drive's going to end, but how about the way they flip field position there? A nice attacking play that picked up a heck of a chunk of yardage.
So the big play moves him all the way across midfield to the 40 now for 1st and 10. Carr now to throw. And that'll be incomplete.
I think he's got to be careful not to force anything into coverage right there. There weren't really any throwing lanes, but the best part for him, he's got 2nd and 3rd down to fall back on.
Carr will try it again on 2nd down. Quick hitter here, it's complete. And the Jags with 5 in the secondary now on 3rd down. To throw, it's Carr. Firing quickly here, and that's complete. He's got room to roam. Touchdown, Saints! 3rd touchdown pass now for Derek Carr. And the Saints go up by 2 touchdowns. Well, CD, that's his 2nd touchdown already. And how about this offense? 3 drives, 3 touchdowns.
An absolute total team effort right now. And let's face it, I don't think he's done. We're still in the 1st half. There's a lot of time left to go. I don't know what they're going to do on the other side trying to slow him down. But right now, he's feeling it.
the Saints going to go on offense one final time in this first half. And with 10 seconds left, not really enough time to put something together. They'll indeed try to run it out as they start on the ground. And he'll just push his way forward for a few as the clock will run. Tackle made by Devin Lloyd, the linebacker. Now the Saints going to take over on offense to begin this third quarter. This offense set to begin the third quarter, and Charles, if they had a checklist of things they wanted to accomplish in the first half, certainly at the top of that list would be having the lead, and they've got that here.
That's always the most important box to check, isn't it? But also, they've had some success in their passing game, so probably an empty box, establishing the run. They're on pace for fewer than 100 yards in this one, so now they want to make sure that they get that going so they truly have a control in this ball game, and down the stretch, being able to be balanced. Either throw it or run it and try and win this ball game.
And this will wind up a Saints first down as he'll get this up to about the 42.
Brandon, I think you and I were both raised the same way in the game of football. You run to set up the pass, but I think we've discovered in this NFL, a lot of teams pass to set up the run. And that's what they've done throughout this game. They've aired it out, thrown it around the yard. Now they've come back to the running game, and they find a way to be successful with it.
And he'll be taken down just shy of midfield. It's a 7-yard carry to set them up with a 2nd and 3. Again, it's Kamara. On a determined run there as he's going to take this all the way down near the 40. 48 yards now on the ground on just 7 carries. They've got the lead early here in the third quarter, and runs like that are how they established that lead in the first half.
I love the fact that you're using the word lead because they are leading from the front, pounding on the defense right now with the running game, and truly establishing themselves here in the second half.
7 yards on the pickup there, and it'll leave them with a 2nd and 3.
This drive is pretty clear. Almost feels like old school fundamentals, doesn't it? Want to impose their will on the defense. What's that, 5 straight runs?
Yeah, 5 straight carries to start this drive, and like you said, the way it's working, they may just stick with it. On 2nd down, Kamara. Touchdown, New Orleans! Alvin Kamara hitting double digits with his 10th rushing touchdown on the year. And the Saints are able to extend their lead. That seemed pretty ideal there for the offense, Charles. You take a little bit of time off the clock here in the third quarter, decent length drive, and you pad your lead as well at the end of it.
And what it does is let you feel like you're in control of this game, even more so than a 2-touchdown lead, right? Because you have taken that time off, as you noted, which means they couldn't get you off the field.
And now the Saints get set to trot out there. Pretty important third quarter drive for them. Momentum has sort of shifted the other direction after that last touchdown as they nurse this small lead. They start the drive on the ground. Kamara. And he is met at the line of scrimmage, and he goes down right there. Akeem Hicks that time on the tackle. And as a defensive end, getting off the ball quickly, swarming to the football, making a tackle. That's what we saw right there.
Yeah, that's what their job is. And really, a lot of the time, they have to throttle back a little bit in the run game because you know those defensive ends, they're like in a sprinter stance. They're just headed straight for the quarterback. That was good recognition on that play to hold them to no gain.
2nd down, and it's Kamara again. And he'll be upended at the 28-yard line. Just a 3-yard gain there. Just not a whole lot of room to operate there on that carry.
No, not at all. They did a really nice job staying in their proper places and not allowing any lanes to open up.
Throwing his car on 3rd down. And that one not to be. It's incomplete. So they couldn't hook up as time has now run out on this 3rd quarter play. Back now here live in New Orleans, as we are just about set to go here in quarter number 4. Now the Saints, they trot their offense out here. Well, they just gave up the score to tie it. That's the bad news. The good news, plenty of time in this 4th quarter to try to grab that lead back. On 1st and 10, here's Carr. And that'll be off the mark, too far out in front, and it's incomplete.
The touch and timing are critical for those types of throws. He put a lot of zip on that one. Needed just a little bit more finesse trying to get it to his back.
An incomplete pass leads to 2nd and 10 from the 25. Here's Carr. He gets it to Thomas. And he'll be out of bounds across the 30-yard line. They get 6. That'll leave them with 3rd and 4.
But that's what you're looking for when you want to throw the ball downfield. You want one of those guys who can play out on the perimeter, can play out wide, who can not only get open, but when they're covered, can uncover themselves downfield and create catches.
Complete to Olave on the out route. And he is going to have a Saints 1st down as they're able to get the 3rd down conversion.
And partner, in a tie game in the 4th quarter, you and I both know in the NFL, that's when you lean on your stars, and he came through with a nice catch right there.
Now a 1st down carry. It's Kamara. 102 yards on the ground for him now as he has gotten better, really, as the night's gone on.
Another carry for their leader and a good one. It's crunch time. They'll need him to continue to be productive in both the run and passing game in order for them to try and snatch victory.
Staying on the ground on 1st with Kamara. And a good job of finding the open space to run as he's down close to the 30 here. 17 more yards on that one as they keep the drive rolling. Both teams working on short rest, but this has been one of the better Thursday night games we've seen as they come up here on 1st and 10. Now this will be a jet sweep. Here's Thomas with it. Oh, and this one may need to go back to the drawing board. He's going to be swallowed up right away. That's a heck of an effort from Josh Allen getting in there defensively. They'll run out of the gun with Kamara. And a 5-yard gain as he's down inside the 30 to the 28-yard line.
This has been an up and down, back and forth type of a game, hasn't it? Maybe this long drive, take a little bit of the wind out of their sails, kind of settle things down a little bit.
From here, it would be a 45-yard field goal attempt, certainly in range, but they'll look for more yardage on 3rd down. Carr. Oh, he's got a man wide open, complete. And he'll be taken down, but he does have 1st down yardage.
With the kind of game he's had so far, you had to know that on 3rd down, that they would be looking his way, and they did, for big yardage and a 1st down. I think the defense fell asleep with the switch on that one. I would have doubled him, tripled him, anything to keep the ball out of his hands.
So it's Saints football as we get you reset. They've got it 1st and goal, looking to take the lead here in the late going. Kamara is in. Touchdown, New Orleans. Orleans offense set to take over. And, Charles, obviously not much time left. I'm curious to see if there's enough for them to get into field goal range and try to win this thing.
And, partner, you and I both know the save calls to kneel and just take it into overtime. But it's also very tough to pass up a chance to win it right now as well. But remember, if you do attempt that, it's got to be a big play downfield and still leave yourself enough time to get your field goal unit out there and kick for the win.
The Saints going to call the first of their timeouts as they'll stop the clock with 24 seconds to go in the game. 2 timeouts still in their back pocket. It's 1st and 10. Here's Carr. Wide open receiver, complete.
What a call right there. That is so well executed offensively. A massive play in this game. And now all of a sudden, they are in field goal range. And with a chance to walk out of here winners.
Here's 1st and 10. Carr. Oh, he's got a man wide open, complete. And he's in for the touchdown. And in the final seconds, forget overtime, they just likely won this thing in regulation.
And that score in this time frame, that's like a big reveal at the end of a great movie, isn't it? Out of nowhere, almost, it appears. They get it done. How about that score?
Finishes like this is why we love sports. This is why we love the game of football.
So glad that we got to be here to watch this one.
This one came right down to the wire, and CD, they had that one final chance to try to navigate their way into the end zone, but couldn't get it done to avoid the loss.
Yeah, and how about the defense there? Because while they had one final look at the end zone, the defense made sure they knew what they were doing on the last play, executed it flawlessly, and no flags. Because remember, if there's a defensive penalty, there's one play left in the game that the offense gets. They didn't allow that to happen.
So for the Saints, their winning ways continue as they get it up to 7-0. And now they'll have a few extra days here before they face Indianapolis next week. Meanwhile, for Jacksonville, they fall a game under the 500 mark at 3-4 through 7 games. And they'll be on the road next week as they travel to Pittsburgh to take on the Steelers.